Well, hello. Good morning, team. I should say good morning, middle school team. Um, real quick, before I even get started, I'm going to do something different. Had some good feedback from some of my leaders, so I'm going to try this just to try to shorten up the videos. I'm going to do a middle school video, and I'm going to do a high school video, and there's going to be two separate links in your email when you receive this. So just look for the middle school video and click on that if you're a middle school leader. So, anyways, I just want to let you know that's what I'm going to do. So, I just want to say, hey, I just want to celebrate really baptisms. We were scheduled for four, but two were not able to do it last weekend. So we had two baptisms, which I'm still really excited about. Will Johnston, who made the decision back at Fusion Camp, he accepted Christ back then, back at Fusion Camp, and he got baptized last weekend to finally get baptized. So that was so cool. And then we had Anthony Fanning, and his mom Helen got baptized a little while ago, and about a month ago he went up to his mom and said, I think I'm ready to take that next step, and we talked about it, and he got baptized. So excited. It was just a great time. I loved it. Great weekend. Had so much fun. Also, if you came to our all leader meeting, it was a lot of fun. It was great to just talk to you guys, build more connection, community together, and it was a blast. So I don't really have much for you guys this weekend. I know that we are having a like a dance off thing. Not exactly sure on the details on that. Desiree is going to be kind of taking care of that, so hopefully you hear from her soon. But it's neon night, okay? So we're going to be wearing neon, so if you have bright colors, wear them. If not, it's really okay, okay? It's not a big deal, but we are wearing neon, and I don't even know if I got a shirt. So just wear a shirt that's bright or something. I don't know. So, neon night, invite all your students. Make sure you're connecting with them throughout the week. It's important. It's one of our values, and honestly, that's just part of that evangelism piece, right? So that's part of being the church everywhere you go in your community. So another update, October 31st is TNBFT. It's going to be like a Halloween night. I will not be here. I'll be on vacation, but Desiree, we planned out a lot of cool stuff, and I'm really excited to see what Desiree does. It's going to be a lot of fun. So TNBFT, okay? Make sure you're letting your students know that, and we'll probably hit more on that in your huddles this week. Also, on the calendar, October 28th. Yes, October 28th at like 4 o'clock, 4 p.m. I would love to take our team out for a just a hangout time over at Suitors. Is that how you say that? Suitors Corn Maze. I would just love to go hang out and just enjoy some time, go through the Corn Maze as a team, just have a lot of fun. So put down your calendar, 4 p.m. Hopefully we can be out there. So I was thinking about carpooling, but if not, and you guys just want to meet us over there, be there at 4 p.m. Cool? Awesome. And then the last thing is December 12th, student night is in South Toledo at 7 p.m. If also we are carpooling here at Findlay at 5:30 for middle school students or high school students that don't have a ride. 5:30, we'll be back hopefully by 9. So that's the plan for that. And then, of course, Fusion Camp. So put down your radars, Fusion Camp. But anyways, I'm going to move on. I just really want to share a verse with you guys. I think it's so awesome. It's so important to remember because there's one event that took place in Scripture. We can talk about the Bible and all the stories. It's phenomenal, right? And the main focus, I would say, New Testament is probably the pivotal moment in our history and what we're living in right now, which is the New Testament. That's where we're living at right now. And we're living in, obviously, after the resurrection. And the event I want to talk about is the resurrection. If there was no resurrection, there was no church. Okay, I want you to understand that because when Jesus died on the cross, the disciples, the people who followed Jesus, went off in hiding, and they were kind of wondering, Jesus isn't who he says he was. And then 3 days later, guess who rose from the dead? Yes, Jesus, a dead man, rose from the dead, which confirmed to them that he was the Messiah, and they went out with a passion to share the gospel, to love each other well because Jesus says to love each other well. And to this day, 2,000 years later, the church has survived. If you really think about that and how persecuted they were at the very start, and the fact that they didn't even have a Bible, by the way, they didn't even have a Bible until 300 years after the fact of Jesus' death and resurrection. So if you think about that, these followers of Jesus in the early church actually did what Jesus told them to do, and that is exactly why the church is still here today. It's unbelievable. So I just want to share this. We're going to hear from Paul. Paul, once again, his name before Paul was Saul from Tarsus, and this guy killed Christians. Okay, he literally killed Christians. Unbelievable. And in one afternoon, he changed his whole perspective on Christianity and ultimately became one of the most influential people in the New Testament. And we see that he's written multiple books, most of the New Testament. So here we are, 1 Corinthians chapter 15. I'm going to start with verse 12. But tell me this, since we preach that Christ rose from the dead, why are some of you saying there will be no resurrection of the dead? For if there is no resurrection of the dead, then Christ has not been raised either. And if Christ has not been raised, then all our preaching is useless and our faith is useless. Wow, those are some strong words. And what Paul's saying is like, the resurrection is the main event that took place that created really Christianity. In the Old Testament, there wasn't Christianity. It was Jewish law, okay? And what Paul's saying is it's so important to understand that the resurrection is the reason why we're here today. That if Jesus never resurrected, then there is no hope and faith for us. And that's when we talk about, oh, Jesus' hope, Jesus' hope. God gives us grace and grace, right? And the whole grace and hope part, it all comes with the resurrection of Jesus. If there was no resurrection, there is no church. And I think that's so important because I want us to always be reminded just how brutal the death was of Jesus. And like you're like, whoa, this is like an Easter story. No, but this should be constantly on our mind when we're serving students. Like the fact that, man, they have a free gift. And that all we have to do is love one another so well. First love God and then love each other, the two commandments that Jesus broke it down into, to make a difference. Because the love for each other will show others Christ's love. So I just really want to encourage you with that verse, and just always remember the resurrection. That's the event that is the most important that took place in the Bible and in human history. It changed everything. It changed how we had a relationship with God, which is Jesus, and that Jesus is kind of the medium between God and people. So very important to understand, and it's always important to bring that into your group. It's like love each other, really love each other. If Jesus were to die on a cross, which he did die on a cross for us, if he did that, then why is it so hard for us to understand that all we have to do is love each other, even in the midst of issues and problems and tension? Forget about it. Jesus paid the ultimate price, and he did it out of love, even to the people who cursed him and put him on the cross, which was us. So I just think that's powerful. I hope you have a great day. I'm going to keep it short. Peace.